kitchen. Now for this week's video tutorial, I really wanted to share with you another one of my favorite cake recipes. So I'm going to be showing you how I make my lemon sponge cake. Now this sponge cake also includes a lemon drizzle, and I'm going to be finishing off the cake with a white chocolate ganache that I also flavour with lemons. So it has a really summery lemon flavour. Okay, let's get started. This recipe is going to create a 6-inch sponge cake. The ingredients that we're going to need in order to make our lemon sponge cake is, first of all, I've got my flour. Now I'm using self-raising flour, and I've got 13 ounces or 368 grams, which I've just sifted. I've then got 12 ounces or 340 grams of caster sugar. Now the same amount, so 12 ounces or 340 grams of butter. You can also use baking spreads in your cake if you prefer. So this one is just stalk that I'll be using today, and you want to make sure that this is at room temperature. I've then got 4 eggs, and for the main cake I'm going to be using 2 lemons. Now I've also got an additional lemon and 50 grams of additional caster sugar, which I will be using to make a lemon syrup to go into the cake. First thing that I'm going to do is use my stand mixer and combine my sugar and my butter. The reason for doing this first is I just want to make sure that butter is as soft as possible, just because this is quite a liquidy recipe and I don't want to end up with any little lumps of butter in my cake mixture. Now I'm using my AEG mixer, and this one just has an attachment that has a spatula around the edge, so I know that all the ingredients around the side of my bowl have been combined. If you're using a normal spatula, then just make sure you run it around the edge and just make sure there isn't any loose ingredients. I'm going to add in my flour, my 4 eggs, and just combine those together. Now once all those ingredients have combined, we're now ready to add in our lemons. Now starting with a grater, I'm going to grate the outside of my lemons, so we just want the lemon zest. Once I've got my lemon zest, I'm then going to chop my lemons in half and just squeeze out the juice. I'm then going to add all of my lemon zest into my cake mixture, turn my mixer back on, and as it's combining, just slowly add my lemon juice. Now I'm going to mix this for around 30 seconds until all of that mixture is fully combined and we're left with a smooth, silky consistency. Once that is all combined, I'm then just going to scrape down the attachment and also just scrape down the sides and make sure that all of that mixture is fully combined. Now for anyone that doesn't have a stand mixer, you can also use a hand whisk. Okay, so for my cake tins, I've just got 2 6-inch tins, and these ones measure 2.5 inches in height. Now before I add in my cake mixture, I'm going to take a piece of kitchen paper with some butter on the outside and just work this all over the inside of my cake tin. I'm then going to dust both my tins with a small amount of flour, and this is just going to help my cake not stick to the edges. I'm making sure that I get rid of any excess. I've then got 2 pieces of parchment paper that I've just cut into 6-inch circles, and I'm going to pop these in the bottom of my cake tins. I can then divide my cake mixture equally between my 2 tins and just smooth that cake mixture down. I'm then going to place my 2 tins in my preheated oven. Now I preheated my oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 356 degrees in Fahrenheit or gas mark 4. Now I'm just using a conventional oven, but if you are using a fan oven, you might want to reduce the heat slightly and bake your cakes for slightly longer. The reason for this is because fan ovens tend to cook the outside a lot quicker than the inside. Now I'm going to place these on the middle shelf in my oven, and I'm going to bake those for 55 minutes. Now everyone's ovens are slightly different, and some ovens might be slightly hotter or slightly cooler than they say. So you just want to keep an eye on your cakes when it's nearing the time that they're done, and we just want to take them out and we've got a nice golden colour on the outside, and when we poke a skewer through the centre, it comes out completely clean, so we know that they're cooked all the way through on the inside. So here we have the 2 cakes. Now I have tested these with a skewer and the skewer has come out completely clean, so I know that they're baked all the way through. Now I'm going to leave these on my wire rack just to cool down before I tip them out of the tins. Once they've cooled down, I'm going to take a straight edge knife and just run that around the edge. I'm going to tip those out. I can then take that piece of parchment paper off of the bottom. Now they are slightly warm to the touch, so I am going to leave these to completely cool. I'm then going to take my serrated knife and just take off the top. So I'm just going in with my knife where it starts to curve over. I'm then going to divide both of my cakes into 2. So each layer is going to be around 1 inch in height. You can leave your sponge cakes like this, but if you do want to add some more of that lemon flavour through the cake, I'm going to add the lemon drizzle or the sugar syrup. Now, whilst I prepare my lemon drizzle, I'm going to wrap these in some cling film or plastic wrap, or you can pop them in a cake tin just to stop them drying out. Okay, so once our cake is done, I'm going to create a lemon drizzle or a lemon sugar syrup just to add some more lemon flavouring throughout that sponge. So I've got my saucepan, and to this I'm going to add 50 grams of caster sugar, the juice of half a lemon, and 2 tablespoons of water. Now you want to heat this up until all of that sugar has dissolved. Now this only takes around a minute, and you just want to keep stirring that round with your spatula until all of those granules of sugar have melted. Now once all of that sugar has melted, I'm going to take my saucepan off the heat and I'm just going to leave this to one side until that sugar syrup has completely cooled down. So once it is completely cooled, we're left with this smooth, silky syrup. And I'm just going to use a pastry brush. Now this is just a silicone brush, and I'm going to take some of that mixture and just pop it on my cakes, just allowing that to seep in. Now this is quite a soft, fluffy cake anyway, so if you didn't want to add more sugar to the cake, then you really don't need to add the sugar syrup. Now once those cakes have been coated in the syrup, we're now ready to stack our cake using the white chocolate ganache. Now for the filling, you can use any filling of your choice, but I'm going to make a white chocolate lemon ganache. For my white chocolate ganache, I'm going to be using a ratio of 3:1 chocolate to cream. So I've got 600 grams of white chocolate, which I've just cut up into small chunks. I've then got 200 grams of double cream. Now I'm heating my double cream until it's boiling, and I'm going to pour this over the top of my white chocolate. Now I'm going to stir these both together until that chocolate has all melted and the cream is completely combined. Now this is just how you create white chocolate ganache, but to this I'm going to add the zest of 1 lemon and also the lemon juice from half a lemon. Now I'm just adding the lemon juice a small amount at a time, just mixing that together thoroughly before I add the rest. Now by adding liquid to your ganache, it is going to make it slightly softer than if it was just the chocolate and cream. Now I'm going to leave my chocolate ganache at room temperature just so that it starts to firm up, so that we can use it to fill and cover our cake. So once our white chocolate ganache has firmed up into a consistency that we can use to fill the cake, apply it in between my layers, smoothing that out with my offset spatula. Now you can use any filling you like, so if you prefer to add a buttercream instead, that would work absolutely fine. Now I'm going to add a crumb coat around the edge just to lock in any of those loose crumbs before we add the final coating of ganache. So I'm just spreading it on the side and smoothing it out with my smoothing tool. I'm then going to pop this in the fridge for around 10 minutes just for that ganache to firm up so that I can add my final coating. Okay, so once that ganache has completely firmed up, I'm going to go in with another coating of my white chocolate lemon ganache and just smooth that down. Now, if you are finding as you work on your cake that your ganache is going a little bit too firm, you can just pop this in the microwave just for intervals of around 10 seconds for it to soften up slightly. Okay, so once your cake has been completely covered, there we have our lemon sponge cake with our lemon drizzle and our lemon white chocolate ganache, all ready to decorate. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and will enjoy making this recipe yourselves. If you do give this recipe a try, then make sure you let me know what you think. Now, I will put all the ingredients that I've used in the description below to make it easier to follow. So until next time, bye!